Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. If this is your first time with us, let me explain how the classes work. Today our topic is the subjunctive mood and imperatives. If you have a question during the class, write your question in the comments section and I'll answer it at the end of the class. I also have a few questions for you at the end of my lesson to check what you've learned, and you can write your answers in the comments section as well. Before we start with the subjunctive mood, let's take a look at what we learned last week, in case you weren't watching. So last week we talked about phonetics. We took a look at the International Phonetic Alphabet, and we looked specifically at two different phonemes, E and I. For example, heat and hit, beat and bit. If you didn't watch this video and you'd like to see it, you can find it in the video section of our Facebook page on the left-hand side. Click on videos. Here you can find all of our previous classes in case you want to watch them and see what we've learned in the past. So check that out if you want. Now let's move on to our topic for today, subjunctives and imperatives. Today we're going to start with the subjunctive mood. So when do we use the subjunctive mood? We use the subjunctive for imaginary situations, hypothetical situations, or when we're talking about regrets. Okay, so how do we form the subjunctive? First, let's start with the present subjunctive. Okay, there are different ways to use the subjunctive. One way is with the verb wish. So with wish, it's always followed by the verb to be, and in the subjunctive, the verb is were. The verb to be is were for all subjects, whereas in the regular past simple, it might be was in the third person. In the subjunctive, it's always were. So for example, I wish the weather were nicer. So in this case, it's probably raining or maybe storming. So you're thinking of a hypothetical or an unreal situation. I wish the weather were nicer. I wish you were here. We say this a lot when we're traveling and we write an email or a postcard to someone. We say, I wish you were here. I wish you were here where I am with me. Okay? She wishes he weren't so late. So we can also use the negative. So instead of were, we can say were not, or the contracted form is weren't. And I wish you were listening to me. Okay, now we've looked at wish. Let's move on to if only. So this is another way to talk about imaginary situations. So we form this with if only plus the subject and the verb in the past simple. Okay? For example, if only I knew how to swim. But the truth is that you don't, so you're wishing or you're imagining that you actually can. If only she knew the truth. If only they didn't have to work today. So these are all imaginary situations. Okay, now let's look at another example. If plus subject plus were. Okay, this is when you put yourself in someone else's place. For example, if I were you, I would study more. But you can't actually be someone else, so this is an impossible situation. If I were you, I would stay in tonight. If we were them, we wouldn't buy this type of car. Okay? Now that we've looked at the present subjunctive, let's move on to the past. So the verbs are the same, I wish, if only. The way it changes in the past is that we follow I wish with the past perfect. So had plus the participle. Okay? For example, I wish I had studied more languages when I was in school. So the reality is that you did not study languages in school, so you're expressing a regret about something that you didn't do in the past. I wish I'd moved to another country when I was younger. So here the I had is in the contracted form, I'd. I wish I'd moved. Okay? She wishes they hadn't argued earlier. So again, you can use the negative as well. Had not becomes hadn't. With if only, we also use the past participle. For example, if only I'd listened to his advice. If only they'd been less impatient. If only I hadn't sent him that message. Okay, so here we have an example in the negative, if only I hadn't, for example. Okay, now that we have looked at both the present and past subjunctive, let's move on to the imperative. Do you know when we use the imperative? Let's take a look. So imperatives are commands when we tell someone to do something, okay, or giving instructions. So how do we form the imperative? We use the infinitive without the to, okay, the present infinitive without the to. For example, hurry up or you'll miss the show. So here the verb is to hurry, so we take off the to, hurry up. Switch the TV off. Pour flour, milk, and eggs in a bowl and whisk until smooth. So the first two are commands, and the last one is an example of giving instructions, like in a recipe. Okay, how do we form negative imperatives? So we still take the infinitive without the to, but we also add do not or don't. This is how we make it negative. For example, don't be late. Do not go to work today. Don't keep opening the fridge. Okay, we can also use the imperative to make a suggestion. So not telling someone to do something, but actually just suggesting something. There are two ways that we can do this. The first one is let's, which is short for let us. For example, let's not miss the train. Let's take a vacation. Another way to make suggestions is why don't we? Okay, why don't we go to the beach? Why don't you tell her the truth? So here you can use either one. You can say, let's go to the beach. Why don't we go to the beach? Either way, you're making a suggestion to someone else or other people, and they can either say, yes, let's go, or no, we don't want to go. Okay, now that we've looked at the subjunctive and imperatives, we're going to do a bit of a review, and I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I want you to write your answers in the comments section. Okay? First question. Write a sentence in the subjunctive mood. So there are different kinds of subjunctive moods or different situations when we use the subjunctive. If you can think of an example, then write your example in the comments. Okay, question number 2. Write a sentence in the imperative. So try to think of, is it a command, making a suggestion? Think of an example and write your imperative sentence in the comments. Okay, and finally, make a suggestion in the imperative. Okay, we looked at 2 different ways to do this, so if you remember how, write it in the comments. Okay, as you are writing your answers, I want to tell you about our course here at ABBA. If you're not familiar with it, we have a complete course from beginners to business level. The course features 144 units. Each unit has a short film, a video class, and exercises to help you improve your English. If you register as a free student, then you will have all of the video classes available to you, as well as the first unit of each level. If you then decide to go premium and purchase our premium course, then you will have all of the course content available to you, and you'll be assigned a teacher, like me, who will answer your questions. If you have any doubts as you're studying, you can write to your teacher. So if you want to join 16 million other students who are studying with us, you can click the link that we're posting right now, which will take you to our website where you can get more information. If you do study with us, you can study from your phone, from your tablet, or from your PC, and your progress is saved on all of these devices. So it's a very flexible way to study whenever and wherever you are. All right. And I want to mention as well, in addition to our course at ABBA, we have many resources available to you for free. We have a blog, which is called our ABBA Journal, with articles about grammar, culture, English for travel, English for business, etc. So a lot of good information there. We have a SoundCloud page with podcasts that you can listen to practice your listening skills. We have a Twitter page, and we have a YouTube channel. So check out all of these resources if you want some extra practice. Okay, now let's see who's joining us today. Where are you from? What time of day is it where you are? And what questions or comments do you have about the subjunctive and imperatives? Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, who's joining us today? Rof from Cameroon. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Okay, Galen says, why don't we go to the theater? Okay, very good. So making a suggestion. Okay, Robert from Cambodia, thanks for watching. Eltahir Wakar, Salah from Cairo, very good. Wasim and Mazar, Svetlana, Alex, Helen. Let's see if anyone else has written a question. Okay, Galen has given another example. Let's go to the museum. Very good. All right. Great. Okay. Samket says, why does English not have a fixed grammar structure? It does. It might seem a bit more complicated, maybe compared to your native language, but there are fixed grammar structures in English. We talk about a lot of them in the live streaming classes, as well as the course. You can learn all of the grammar structures in English a little bit at a time. The more that you practice, the easier it will become. You'll start to become familiar with these grammar structures, and you'll start to remember them. Okay. Great. As you are writing your examples or questions, let me tell you about our next class. So you can find the calendar for the month of July posted on our Facebook page. It's pinned at the top of the page, so you can see the date, time, and the topic of each class. Next week, we're going to talk about learning English with songs. So many of you enjoy listening to music in English, but maybe you don't always understand the lyrics, or you want to practice your listening skills by listening to songs in English. So we're going to talk about some tips for how to do this, and then look at some specific songs that you can practice according to their grammar points. So some songs are written in the past simple, in the present perfect, and the imperative, for example. So we're going to look at some useful examples of this next week. So tune in, check our calendar to find out what time that class is. Remember that we are broadcasting from GMT +2 time zone, so calculate what time that is for you, and I hope that you can join us. Remember as well that you can turn on your notifications in your Facebook settings to receive a message anytime we're live streaming. So if you want to do that, this is how you do it. Okay, let's see if anyone else has written in the comments. Okay. All right. Slamet says, is this class offline? We are live right now, but after the class finishes, as I said earlier, all of our previous classes will be saved in the video section of our Facebook page. So if you can't watch the live class because you're working, because of the time difference, then don't worry. You can find it in the video section and you can watch it again. You can pause, you can take notes, you can share it on your Facebook page, or you can tag someone that you think might want to watch it. So all of those classes are available to you. They will stay on Facebook. All right. Galen says, great subject for next week. Okay, so some people are looking forward to learning about songs in English. Very good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, great. Well, I want to thank everyone for participating today. You've given some really good examples. I encourage you to keep writing in the comments, and I'll get back to you later today from my computer. And just to share anything that you want to write in the comments, you're more than welcome to keep writing. I hope that you can join us next week, and I hope that you have a great weekend. So thanks again, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!